it's funny because I was talking to my mom, who, again, my mom was our age group swim coach. She still coaches now, head coaches Hawk Swimming Association. But her and your college coach, Coach Peter Solomon, they refer to you as a gamer. So a gamer meaning someone who can just get up and race, and especially at the big meets. So I wanted to ask, what was your mindset going into a race of the magnitude of, a conference championship, a final, or a team relay? And did that mindset differ depending on the level of competition you were facing? Meaning, did it differ when you were just at a regular dual meet compared to that NESCAC or NCAA sort of a final? But yeah, how did you just find that ability to just get up and race?
Yeah. So in high school, it was definitely more, I didn't have really a good grip on my nerves. Was a super nervous competitor, and through college, I was a super nervous competitor, but I had more tools then. And so I would kind of, after the relay that we will talk about, I would always get to the blocks really early, because I didn't want to miss my race. And so I would sit back there, and my freshman year of high school, Coach Kate Gliddy and your mom, Coach Aaron, taught us about visualization and race visualization. And so leading up to, golds, speedos, whatever we were doing, I would do that before bed, and I would visualize my race, or I would do that, sometimes in practice or whenever, I found it to be a good moment to really get myself into that headspace and be able to make that feeling of race preparation feel more normal and gain that control over my nerves. And so I would do that, and I would always listen to music. Music was super important, just having that fun, like high energy time before race to get the tempo even just into my head. And so I can mimic that in my race. As a sprinter, you got to be high tempo, quick out of the blocks, as you know. And so high school was very much that. And I would lean on my teammates a lot of the times. We might be racing the same events, or we might not be, but just being behind the blocks together, talking, keeping it loose, keeping yourself warm, moving around, jumping around, that kind of thing. And then with relays, always have been very motivated by relays, because it's not just for me. Like, I'll work hard for myself and I'll get up and race, but when there's a team of people who are counting on me, nothing will meet that kind of motivation. I don't know. I have goosebumps talking about it. Like, I will give it whatever I've got. And so in high school, medley relays specifically, I'm thinking back, me, Morgan, Abby Santos, and Kayla, like going behind the blocks, listening all to the same song, just acting like goofballs, jumping around, keeping warm, but happy swimmers are fast swimmers. And so just getting each other to that like happy, excited, high energy state of mind, and then getting in there and showing them, you're there for them, you're showing up for them, and you expect them to show up for you, and rocking it every time. And then similarly going into college, it was different though, because I felt more of an expectation on my performance as a college swimmer, and coming into Wesleyan, and realizing, like, oh my, like, I'm fast here, like, and people expect me to perform consistently at this level. I've never had that expectation. I've never, been held to that performance level before. And so learning how to, again, like, pull yourself out of those anxious moments where you're just kind of sitting and like shaking or bouncing your leg behind the block because you're nervous, and you're like, I have to race against this person from, Con or Williams. Like, they're really good. They've won. Like, oh my God. And trying to, get that positive self-talk. Like, you've trained for this. You know how to do this. You've done this hundreds of times. You got it. Follow the steps that like, you've got this. And again, relying back on my headphones to get me out of those anxious places. And I got into the habit of just like dancing like a crazy person behind the block. and like jumping around and getting other people involved and talking to everyone around me, just making sure I was a happy swimmer, because happy swimmers are fast swimmers. And that's how I made friends across the NESCAC, that I still have, and, you know, value those friendships a lot, and mentorships, honestly. And it did keep me very warm. Like I was sweating by the time I was ready to swim, and I was ready to go. So yeah, that's how I, you know, by the time I was junior at nationals, or even, you know, that sophomore year at nationals, I was dancing like mad with my relay mates behind the blocks, just trying to be the team that's having the most fun, because that's what it's about. You're there to compete. You're going to show up. You've worked this hard to get there. That's a non-negotiable, but it's up to you if you make it fun for yourself and your team.